Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our show brought to you by Novacopy. If you have a business need, Novacopy has the answer, I bet you. Copiers, wide format printers. They even sell the equipment big enough for you to do car wraps, outdoor and indoor signs. Heck, they even sell 3D printers and scanners. Do not make a move regarding document solutions before you call Novacopy. Call Benny Malakote and his team this week. They will help your company save cash. All right, welcome back in. David Ligon, Bob Hodge, Bobby Scott, Sterling Hinton. Over at the big board next to the pretty faces, we have Chuck Cavaleris with his own pretty mug. We see the guys there photographed. We got Josh Dobbs. We got the three coaches who are trying to rebuild in their second year, Butch Jones, Brett Bielema, Mark Stoops, and we got Gary Pinkel from Missouri. Let's start with Dobbs. Very quickly, guys. Yesterday's performance, do you change your views on Josh Dobbs at all?
No.
He was playing against a good football team, and he did not have a good game. I think he'd be the first one to tell you that. But there's no reason whatsoever to throw him under the bus.
Chuck, what do you think, Sterling?
I think he played a very decent game
compared to the rest of the offense.
And a couple of catches made on third down. Be interesting.
Third down for what?
No, I mean, I think it's a perfect example of the matchups in football, and when your weakest point is the offensive line going up to one of the best D lines in college football. No, I think he's still going up arrow.
Yeah, I agree with you. I still think that Matt Crowder absence turned out to be the biggest difference in that game yesterday. And that's, look, no knock on Dylan Wiseman. The guy hasn't played a lot. Matt Crowder was playing better the last few weeks than he had earlier in the season. I think if Wiseman gets out there and gets more reps, may improve. We don't know what we're going to see from him next year. But to throw him out there and everything else had kind of been stable, you saw a step back. All right, and that affected Dobbs. What about the coaches in the SEC? How much do you change your views now of Butch Jones, Brett Bielema, and Mark Stoops? Let me show you the numbers. We do this every week here on the show. All right, there's the updated numbers. Butch Jones still has the better overall record, better SEC record. Home record is as good as Bielema, better away record, better record versus Power 5 teams. Bielema's now beaten 2 ranked teams in a row. I'm sure Butch Jones is wondering where Ole Miss's 6 turnovers were against him. And he has a win versus top 10 yesterday. Do you change your views on Jones, Bielema, or Stoops based on what you've seen now?
I don't change my view on Jones or Stoops, but I have changed my view on Bielema a little bit. I mean, you go back and you look at the close games that they were losing earlier in the season. Now they're winning, and they won yesterday, not even particularly close against a good team. So, yes, I have changed my view on him a bit.
So he goes up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're ranking them 1, 2, 3, I would still say Jones has done more because you throw in recruiting, you look at how young his team is. Bielema's not playing 23 freshmen.
Yeah.
Now, that's just my take, and that could change next year. I will say this. I think all 3 of those guys have their programs going in the right direction. I think there's reason.
Upgrades over what they replaced, definitely.
That's right. Yeah. I think there's reason for optimism in all 3 programs. Do you guys agree with that?
I do. The only thing, with Kentucky is, they didn't play,
good schedule.
Too many ranked teams early in the season. They got a good record going just simply because of that, I think.
Yep, but Mark Stoops has upgraded their recruiting as well, so I think there's reason for optimism there. Let's talk about, very quickly, Gary Pinkel. I said it earlier. I think he and the Missouri program may be in just the most underrated program in the country. Chuck, I'll start with you. Are you buying more into Gary Pinkel in Missouri at this point, or?
I think I was before, but I think more people need to be aware. That's one of the best programs, best SEC road team the past 2 years. Yeah. That's, like you said, the least appreciated coach, I think, in the SEC right now.
And here's the thing, played under Don James at Kent State with Nick Saban. So maybe somebody needs to go find more Don James assistants or Don James former players.
Here's how you know he's underrated. Anytime there's a coaching job open, does anybody ever say, they ought to go talk to Gary Pinkel? It never happens.
I think long term, right now, I think more people ought to buy into Missouri. I mean, they're doing a great job, but what's the ceiling? I mean, when was the last time they won a conference championship?
It was 69 under Dan Devine, but they did make it to 3 Big 12 championship games.
Oh yeah, but the SEC East has been down.
Fair enough.
It is heavily tilted to the West. Long term, if the East can become more competitive, how's Missouri performing then? That's when you're really going to be able to cement Missouri being a good football team.
Good point, Mr. Ligon. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk in the Chalk Talk segment, we're going to talk about coaching decisions, fake field goals, timeouts, and use thereof. We'll discuss on the Sports Source. Come on back.
Follow The Sports Source online at sportsource.tv and on Twitter at SportsSourceTV.